We operate as a community first and as a business second. So coming back to like the research lines that we pursue, it's what research is interesting to us here. What do we want to work on? Where do we see that we can offer benefit? Versus where does Galois see that we can make money? Those sometimes have the same answer to the question, but not necessarily. And when we as a community think we should be going in a particular direction, we will choose to go in that direction. Our boundary policy is a pretty good example of that. We're a defense contractor, which has a whole bunch of baggage associated with it, but the things that we're working on, we want them to have primarily defensive applications, and we want that to be the driving force behind the research that we do.
One thing I really appreciate about Galois is the boundary policy, and it's this notion that we want to do work that is overall positive for the world. Now, when it comes to cryptography and computer security, that line can be pretty clear. We don't want to be developing exploits that make people's phones or computers more vulnerable or weaker. We want to be developing technologies that make them safer and that help ensure that the encryption is correct and that people's private information can stay private. And to me, the boundary policy kind of solidifies a lot of what makes Galois unique. It's not this explicit set of very rigid rules, right? It's kind of a vague general guideline over how we want to be as a company. And what that means is that when something comes up that maybe, hey, are we skirting up against the boundary policy? Well, it's not just a set of rules that we can say, oh yeah, it checks this box, it doesn't check this box. We have to engage with it. We have to discuss it. We have to figure out how does the boundary policy apply to this project or to this issue? The fact that it's an open discussion, the fact that we have these difficult conversations about, is this project good for the world at large, or are we adding to the dangers of being a citizen in the modern world? I like that we have those conversations.
We want to make things more secure. We don't want to do any work where we make things less secure, right? And we try to think about what our clients are doing with the work we're doing, and can we make sure that there is a positive use and that that's being emphasized, right? And that's a cool part of what we do, especially because we work in information security, and as you read in the news all the time, there's a lot of less positive work that happens in that community. So it feels nice to work on a company that is conscious of that and trying to make good decisions, and that's kind of nice.